Hey Raiders fans, today we've got a deep dive into everything happening with our Las Vegas Raiders as we head closer to the trade deadline and try to make sense of where this season is going. Sunday's loss to the Jaguars really put a spotlight on some key decisions the team might need to make in the coming weeks, especially with the trade deadline looming on November 4th. The Raiders have already been linked to several names, and there's no shortage of speculation around who could be on the move and who might stay to finish the season strong. Players like Jackson Powers-Johnson, Jakobi Meyers, Eric Stokes, Michael Mayer, and even Max Crosby have been mentioned in rumors. And as always, the conversations around trades tend to heat up as teams reassess their rosters and look for opportunities to bolster weak spots. One name that has been a topic of conversation recently is wide receiver Jakobi Meyers. His situation is interesting because he is on a contract that expires at the end of the season, which naturally makes other teams curious about the possibility of acquiring him. At the same time, Las Vegas has made it clear that they want to finish the season on a strong note, so whether Meyers moves or stays is still very much up in the air. Interest exists, but whether it translates into a deal before the deadline is the big question. Another player drawing attention is Malcolm Koonce, a defensive end who has had a roller coaster of a career so far. Drafted in the third round back in 2021, Koonce had moments of brilliance, especially during his breakout in 2023, but a knee injury wiped out his entire 2024 season. Expectations were high for him to contribute significantly to the pass rush, particularly with Pete Carroll stepping in for his first season as head coach. Koonce signed a one-year deal in the offseason and will become an unrestricted free agent after 2025. If he performs well, a significant payday could be waiting for him next spring, but through the first half of the season, he hasn't quite delivered the kind of production that makes a player a sure bet at the trade deadline. Looking at the numbers, Koonce recorded just one sack in the first 7 games and ranked 63rd among edge rushers with 14 quarterback pressures, according to Pro Football Focus Analytics. Those aren't exactly the stats that scream must-have for teams looking to make trades, but at 27 years old, there's still potential for a team to see if he can return to the form that made him such a promising prospect. It's worth remembering that in the final 9 games of the 2023 season, Koonce notched 8 sacks, and his performance down the stretch was marginally better than that of Max Crosby, who has been one of the team's top defenders for years. Going into the 2024 season, Raiders defensive coordinator Patrick Graham identified Koonce as a player expected to make a significant leap. Graham's faith in him was clear. He spoke about Koonce's ability to grow into his role, his maturity on the field, and the way he communicates and executes in games. The idea was that with the right work ethic and focus, Koonce could be a difference maker. And while the early part of the season has been slow, some of that can likely be attributed to him regaining confidence in his surgically repaired knee. If that's the case, he could represent a hidden gem for teams looking for pass rushing potential at the trade deadline, a player who may not be flashy on paper, yet still has the ability to impact games. Meanwhile, Sunday's matchup against the Jaguars also shed light on some positives, despite the loss. The Raiders dropped another game on a failed last-second scoring attempt, bringing their record to 2-6. And while this has been a frustrating stretch with 5 losses in 6 games, there are glimpses of hope when you look closer at the performances on the field. One standout has been Brock Bowers, whose return to health has immediately shifted the dynamics of the offense. For weeks, the Raiders struggled without him, particularly highlighted in Week 7 against the Chiefs, where the offense was essentially shut down, producing only 95 total yards. That game underscored just how much impact a player of Bowers' caliber can have, and his return on Sunday made it crystal clear. Bowers dominated the field, catching 12 of 13 targets for 127 yards and 3 touchdowns, including both the first and last trips to the end zone for Las Vegas in that game. His presence opened up the offense, giving quarterbacks options and forcing defenses to account for him in every situation. Everywhere he went, the offense seemed to move better, and teammates who had struggled to find their rhythm suddenly had space to operate and opportunities to shine. It was a reminder of how important it is to have versatile, elite players on your roster, players who can change a game on their own and elevate those around them. Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen was quick to point out just how unique Bowers is, highlighting his ability to run option routes like Cooper Kupp, stretch the field like Tony Gonzalez, and be effective in any personnel grouping. His strength, quickness, and versatility make him extremely difficult to defend, and his return from injury immediately reminded everyone why he is such a critical piece of the team. Beyond the statistics and the touchdowns, it was evident that Bowers' physical presence and football intelligence were on full display. He was moving in space with confidence, breaking tackles, and consistently making plays that kept the Raiders in contention, even in a game that ultimately slipped away. As the Raiders look forward, the trade deadline looms as an important moment for the franchise. Questions about which players may move and which may stay will dominate the headlines, with Kuntz and Myers representing two very different cases. One on the defensive side, still regaining his stride after injury, and the other on offense, with his contract situation creating natural intrigue for other teams. Add to that the ongoing need to maximize Brock Bowers' impact and the broader challenge of stabilizing an offense and defense that has faced inconsistency, and it becomes clear that the next few weeks will be crucial for Las Vegas. Every matchup, every practice, and every decision from here on out could shape not just the remainder of the season, but also the roster heading into 2026. There's a lot to unpack, and the combination of young talent, established veterans, and strategic moves in the coming weeks will determine whether this season ends in frustration or sets the foundation for a stronger, more competitive team in the future. Even with the current struggles, the Raiders have shown sparks of brilliance and moments where everything clicks. The challenge is building consistency, and part of that may come from shrewd moves before the trade deadline, careful management of player health, and a focus on getting key players like Bowers and Kuntz into positions where they can make an impact week after week. The pressure is on for the coaching staff and front office to balance short-term needs with long-term goals, and fans will be watching every decision closely. The storyline of the Raiders season is far from over, and the next chapter could very well hinge on decisions made over the next few days. Looking ahead, the Raiders' challenges are not just about trades and contracts. They're also about building momentum and finding ways to compete in every game. Even though the record does not reflect it, there are key takeaways from recent performances that suggest the team is capable of turning things around if the pieces fall into place. One of the biggest factors has been the chemistry on the field, particularly on offense. The quarterback position has seen its ups and downs, and while there are flashes of brilliance, consistency has been elusive. Timing, decision-making, and reading defenses correctly are all critical components. And when those elements click, the Raiders look like a team that can compete with anyone. However, when the rhythm breaks down, the offense struggles to sustain drives and capitalize on opportunities, which has contributed to the string of close losses. That's where players like Brock Bowers make such a difference. He is not just a target. He is a true playmaker who changes how defenses have to prepare. His ability to stretch the field, create mismatches, and execute under pressure means that even if other areas of the offense are struggling, Bowers can keep the team in the game and give them a chance to win. Watching him operate in Sunday's game was a reminder of what a difference an elite tight end can make. Every route, every catch, every block showed the kind of player who can elevate those around him. His strength, agility, and football IQ allow him to operate in multiple roles, whether in traditional formations or more creative packages, and his impact is felt across the entire offense. Beyond individual performances, the Raiders' defense has its own storylines. Malcolm Kuntz is emblematic of the challenges and opportunities on this side of the ball. Returning from injury is never easy, and regaining confidence in a surgically repaired knee adds an extra layer of complexity. Yet, the potential for him to rediscover his best form is very real. A strong finish to the season could not only boost the team's pass rush, but also set him up for a significant contract in free agency. The rest of the defensive unit has had moments of brilliance as well as lapses that have contributed to the team's inconsistency. Pass coverage, tackling in space, and maintaining pressure on opposing quarterbacks are areas where execution needs to be sharp every single week. With the trade deadline approaching, there is a sense of urgency to strengthen weak spots and put the roster in a position to compete for the remainder of the season. Trade rumors, contract considerations, and player health all intersect in ways that make this a critical period for Las Vegas. The front office and coaching staff must balance the desire to win now with the need to plan for the future, ensuring that any moves made before the deadline enhance the team's competitiveness without compromising long-term goals. Fans are watching closely, analyzing every play, every decision, and every potential transaction. The energy in the stadium, the reaction on social media, and the ongoing conversation around the team reflect the passion and investment that Raiders supporters bring to every game. Despite the ups and downs, the culture and identity of the team are being shaped, and key players will continue to define what this season ultimately represents. It is not just about wins and losses. It is about growth, adaptation, and finding the rhythm that can carry the Raiders through the toughest matchups. In examining the offense, the impact of Brock Bowers cannot be overstated. When he is on the field, he draws attention, opens lanes, and creates opportunities that allow other players to shine. His return from injury was like flipping a switch for the offense, giving quarterbacks confidence and giving the team a focal point around which they can structure plays. The trade deadline adds another layer of complexity, forcing the team to weigh potential improvements against chemistry and continuity. Every game between now and November 4th carries added significance. Each play, each decision, and each adjustment matters as the Raiders try to build momentum, improve their record, and create a foundation for the rest of the season. Fans should expect a mix of strategic moves, player development stories, and individual performances that can swing the outcome of games. The excitement and uncertainty are part of what makes this stage of the season compelling. As the team evaluates potential trades, monitors player health, and looks to get the most out of its current roster, there's a sense that the next few weeks could define the trajectory of the entire year. Players like Brock Bowers and Malcolm Kuntz are central to this narrative, representing both the impact of elite talent and the potential for resurgence after setbacks. The Raiders are balancing immediate needs with longer-term planning, and that balancing act will be key in navigating the remaining games. Fans are engaged, analysts are speculating, and every small adjustment could have a ripple effect on the team's success. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are swirling around Las Vegas as the Raiders seem to be on the verge of pulling off what could be the most shocking and sensational move in franchise history. Sources close to the team are hinting that the Raiders have set their sights on none other than TYREEK Hill, the electrifying wide receiver whose speed and playmaking ability have made defenses tremble across the league. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the buzz in NFL circles is impossible to ignore. TYREEK Hill to the Raiders could be a done deal. Insiders describe the potential signing as unprecedented for Las Vegas. Hill's explosiveness and big play potential would instantly transform the Raiders' offense, giving quarterback Derek Carr, or whoever emerges as the signal caller, a weapon that could rival any in the league. Imagine the highlight reels, Hill streaking past defenders, turning routine plays into touchdowns in the blink of an eye. It's the kind of signing that doesn't just make headlines, it makes history. Fans on social media have already begun imagining the possibilities. Some speculate that Hill's presence could push the Raiders straight into Super Bowl contention, while others suggest this could be the first step in a complete roster overhaul designed to make Las Vegas a perennial powerhouse. There's talk that the front office has been quietly working on a deal that would make Hill the highest-profile acquisition in franchise history. A move so bold, it could redefine the team's identity for years to come. Of course, with rumors this big, skepticism is natural. Contract negotiations, salary cap logistics, and Hill's own considerations all add layers of uncertainty. Yet, the sheer excitement surrounding the possibility is undeniable. NFL insiders claim that the Raiders are serious. And if even half of the speculation proves true, TYREEK Hill's arrival would mark a new era in Las Vegas. One where speed, spectacle, and star power converge in a way that could electrify the league. As the rumor mill churns and fans hold their breath, one thing seems certain. If TYREEK Hill does land in Las Vegas, it won't just be a signing. It will be a seismic shift. Raiders history might never be the same. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.